Hey there everyone, and welcome to Corey Loses, where today we are not just starting a new playthrough in Thrawn's Revenge, we are starting a new kind of playthrough for the channel. So for the last year and a half or so, almost 2 years, I've been doing preview playthroughs for Imperial Civil War 2.2. Now that 2.2 is out, there's not really going to be anything significant to preview for another couple months when we get into Fall of the Republic, as well as some of the new content for 2.3. So I figured this would be a good time to do the Community Challenge playthrough I've been talking about for quite some time. So I put up a video about this a couple weeks ago. Basically, the way it works is I put up the video asking for everyone to pick a land and a space unit. There was a list of what's available to viewers as well as to patrons. And then I'd code them in. They'd all have their own unique names. And those are the only units I'm allowed to use. So once those units are dead, I cannot replace them. I'm only able to use what was picked by all of you. So if that means that I wasn't given enough Corvettes, then I need to make sure I protect my Corvettes. Just any units that you guys picked, there was units from every faction in the mod, as well as some content from Fall of the Republic. Those are all we have. So if you look in the description, there is a link to the video where I explained how to pick the units, and there's also a spreadsheet that'll show you what all the units we have for the playthrough are. In that spreadsheet, if you want to check it out, the green ones are the ones that are currently coded in. The red ones are going to be the dead ones. So when they're dead, they're gone. I'm not coding everything in all at once because that would really increase load times. I'm basically going to be adding them in as I go. So if you see your unit is on that list still, it's going to be in. I'm going to be adding everything that people requested. I'm just a little bit behind adding this stuff to the spreadsheet. I'm just finishing that off. But yeah, so if you want to get a unit into the playthrough, just before we get into this here, make sure you check out that link in the description. Leave a comment on that video and I'll add it to the spreadsheet. I'll get it coded in as we go here and we'll use that. There is a time limit for the viewer unit, so I'm only accepting the submissions before the third episode goes up on Saturday because I do need to cut it off somewhere. And we actually got a lot more submissions than I thought we would in a short amount of time. So those submissions will only be taken up to the third episode, but for people who become patrons and request those units, they'll be added throughout the playthrough, because that tends to be a much smaller number, obviously. So the way this playthrough is going to work, we're going to be playing as the Corey Consortium, which is technically a renamed and slightly edited Greater Maldrude. We're going to be playing on this new map, which I made on stream over the weekend. It is a single planet start, like from the ground up. It involves a lot of randomized starting units for the hostile planet. So every planet you can see here that is neutral, we're just going to take a moment to look across the map. This is our capital, Corrida. All these planets are occupied by hostile forces. Then you can see on each sort of corner of the galaxy, or each side really, you have the Empire of the Hand over here, the Remnant up here, the New Republic along the side over here, and the Arido Authority has a planet down here. So the Hapens also control their territory. So they're going to be closing in on us. We're going to have a limited amount of time to take as many of these planets as we can, and there are starting forces there. You just can't see them because they won't have structures. But the one thing that I do have an unlimited amount of are probe droids. So I'm just going to queue up a couple of probe droids so we can scout out some of these planets. Again, these starting forces are random. So we're going to be coming across forces from pretty much every possible playable faction. But let's take a look at what we have in here. And again, I haven't coded everything in yet. I just coded in some of the stuff we need for the first episodes. And we'll all be adding them. I'm still finishing off the spreadsheet. Once that's done, I'm going to work more on piling in the actual units. And again, before we get into this, I just want to emphasize, this is supposed to be for fun, guys. So a lot of you who submit your units, you will die. I'm going to tell you that right now. A lot of you will die. Maybe all of you will die and we'll lose the playthrough. One of the more common questions I got was, well, what happens if you run out of units? That means we lose the playthrough. So it's entirely possible. This is very experimental too. This is the first time I've ever done something like this. I think it's the first time anyone's ever done something like this. I could be wrong on that, but maybe you have too few units, maybe you have too many. So if this goes well, we're going to do it again. I can edit it as we need to in future attempts. But again, this is just, we're going to have fun with this, or I'm going to have fun with this. I hope you guys enjoy it too. So yeah, you can see some of the stuff we have queued up
Building
here, or
under construction.
available to us here. Right now, our starting units, we have Star Wars Sucks, the Providence class. We have Lux Offero, the Bothan Assault Cruiser. We have First Sight, the Warlord. And we have Snowflake, the Enforcer. For our ground units, we have Mi'kmaq Company. We have Geronimo Company. We have Lelos Company. Crate 1, the LAAT. And Walk of the Valkyries, the ATTE. And just on our build bar here, our first options to build are going to be Scar Squad, Good Luck, and I Hit Something. So again, if you want to check out the spreadsheet to see what's coming up, and you want to check if your unit is in yet. Also, if you notice I've made a mistake in entering the name of your unit, or if I make a mistake pronouncing the name of your unit, just let me know in the comments, and I will get that fixed. But I guess we're going to go for it. So let's get that first Pro Droid. I do know the transitory mists have very high starting forces, so we won't be able to go in there immediately, but we will aim to go in there as soon as we can, because a lot of the Hapen planets are pretty high for production and credit value. Not super high, but relatively high. So I think our main thing right now is going to be going from Coralag to Coruscant to Odic. We don't have access to any capital ships right now because Corrida is a level 2 shipyard, but we do want to go through Coralag, Coruscant into Odic too, and that'll be our first option for a real shipyard. We could go over to Bilbringi a bit faster, but I think the Empire of the Hand is probably going to... I just want to make sure we're on Admiral here. Yep, before we get too far in. So what do we got here? We should be able to deal with this with what we have already. So let's drop this in. So all the capital and higher, so really heavy frigates up to super capitals are available to patrons. I needed to find some way to make it so that there was a fair selection of units and not too many weird rules, but we didn't get like 70,000 ISDs because that would be super easy. So I basically made it all the patron tiers would get certain levels of capital ships, and then the ones that are available to everyone are kind of the lighter frigates to mid-tier frigates. That way I was relatively sure we'd get a good variety of the ships and vehicles without being like too skewed towards one thing or the other. And I think it worked out pretty well, just going off the list there. And again, if I have to adjust it in the future, then I'll adjust it. But I think we're decently well set up for the playthrough to be a challenge without being completely out of luck here. And we're gonna... A lot of these starting planets will probably be a little bit weaker in terms of the forces we're fighting, but that it's kind of necessary so we don't lose too much in the build-up. And we're ready for when we start fighting the other playable, or not playable factions, but the other major factions.
At your command.
So one of the other things with the patron units is that they were allowed to pick their unit loadouts as well, or their fighter loadouts.
We have them in our sights.
Which is why you'll see some stuff like Empire of the Hand ships or Imperial ships that are using
All fire on those ion cannons. Destroy the ion cannon. Holding for maximum firepower. Ready for battle.
New Republic fighters. So I'm just gonna...
Holding fire for maximum effect.
Okay.
Sir. Your command, sir. Weapons armed. I'm on it.
Shields are down on Lux.
Launching attack.
We got Star Wars Sucks
Orders received.
taking out the damage there.
Orders, sir. Advance.
Okay, now that the VSD is down,
Yes, Commander.
I think we should be relatively safe to start shifting over. And move you guys out of here.
Ready for duty. Awaiting your command. Commencing attack run. Ready for command, sir.
It's going to be a little bit riskier in some of the early goings on, just as I only coded in so many of the units. So for the first episode, we won't have as many options for things to buy.
Target those lasers.
But we should be good.
Form up. Got one on me. Attack position. Assault frigate here. Commander, they're hitting us. Ready to engage.
I think that was a Vindicator got away.
Weapons armed. Targeting systems active.
Alright, let's go for this raider.
Nowhere to run.
The raiders are actually putting out a decent amount of units.
Target in sight. Initiating attack. Attack.
I figured the leftover
The primary
lasers
target
would
is
hit
the
that, but
engine.
apparently not.
Destroy the engines. Ready. The lasers are our target. Our shields
All
are
right.
down.
So there we
that.
go.
Form up.
No losses
Target
quite
those
yet.
lasers. The lasers are our target.
We are victorious.
Awaiting orders.
That was a pretty safe planet to go for. And these are just ATAPs.
Destination set.
Okay, let's get you guys in there.
Vehicle in production.
Let's queue up 203rd Scout Company and the Kentucky Task Force. What do we have for the
Building
heavy
started.
ones? I don't know. Let's see. Well, let's see what Coruscant has for us. Which map are you again? Oh, right. For the save crash issues, we had to remove the map previews
Commencing.
because that was a relatively high RAM user, which was the issue with the save crash stuff. I'm going to start adding them back into the main build because that is something that is being patched by Petrolith. One of the other main bits of instability in the mod was the
I'm here, sir.
some people would have crashes when initiating a tactical battle or saving, and that's also another engine issue that's being worked on. Not technically something with the mod. It's just if there was
Sensor node
Got it.
if there was too much memory, or if the save files were getting too big, which could happen a lot in some of our larger galactic conquests,
Moving out. Heading out.
that would for some people cause crashes.
Yes, sir.
And
Reporting in. Right away.
there's less that we can do
Moving
about
ahead.
that.
Heading out, sir.
But it doesn't seem to affect everyone, and again, it is something that should be
Choose
fixed.
your
So
reinforcements.
On my way, sir. Order acknowledged.
hopefully, it won't be too long term of a problem.
Choose your
It does mean
reinforcements
that
right away.
because the patches are really only coming up with the
Reporting.
Steam version, that we might have to tailor the content in the mod database download as opposed to the Steam Workshop a little differently,
Ready.
Construction
Roger
complete.
that.
which will be a bit of a hassle,
Fall
but
out, troops.
it might end up being necessary. So, because we don't want to cut off support for either version,
Let's move out.
but there's only so much content. Like, we don't want to limit ourselves in the Steam version.
AT-AT ready.
If
Armored transport ready.
like if something can be supported there
Reporting in.
that isn't really supported in the GOG
I'll
version,
follow your lead.
because usually it's
We've
the
located
entire
the
Galactic
enemy.
Conquest that wouldn't be
Target acquired.
feasible.
I'll follow your
So
lead.
it might just mean a couple more Galactic Conquest options. One of the things that is unfortunate with this right now is that
Awaiting orders.
once we're in the battle, we won't be able to
Let's
see
go.
the ground unit names
Roger that.
generally
Proceeding to
because
target.
they are based on the Corey Consortium. We'll go here. Here. I really tried to make sure that everything was set up for this.
Form up.
But
Awaiting your
yeah, so in the battles, because I'd have to do a variant of the unit as well as the company to get the name to show up in the tactical battles. They, for the most part, in ground battles, won't they won't be showing their name. We'll have to look on the you have to look on the galactic level, and I'm gonna try to do that more going forward, where I'll try to switch them over. If not in this playthrough, then that'd definitely be something I want to switch for
Walker moving out.
the next
We're
one,
right behind you.
or the next time we try this.
Reporting.
So
Attacking.
hopefully that's not too big of a problem, but I did want to avoid having any sort of
Firing.
memory issues from that.
Engines
No,
activated.
don't stand
Receiving
somewhere you're going to
orders.
get shot by the ATAP.
Engaging. As you wish. Squadron moving out.
I think we got kind of lucky here.
I have the target in
'Cause
sight.
this is a map that has a lot of these
Lancet
civilians, and they happen to spawn by one of them.
Available.
Lancet targeting. Heading for attack position.
Enemy has been defeated.
Okay.
System control achieved.
Core leg. We're gonna get
Building started.
that. What do we got on Coruscant? A little bit more anti-infantry. I think we should be okay against that Space Force as well, but I think I want to... Let's take a look at what we have here. Let's build Invictus. Let's also build Confetti Launcher.
Unit.
So on the build bar right now, we do have Vengeful Spirit, Night Flame, Amaran Trickster, Wolfbert, 444th Attack Cruiser, Spear of Infamy, and Aussie Last Stand. So let's get Invictus, Confetti Launcher, and Aussie Last Stand.
In production.
Once Invictus is ready, we'll probably go in on Coruscant here, because it shouldn't be too difficult for us there.
Beginning construction.
And then let's check out Odic and Enzoth.
Construction
On my way.
complete.
And while it'll be a bit simpler going up against some of these independent planets, the AI factions should start expanding pretty well. Like, we can't see some of the control right now, but the Empire of the Hand does have Yaga Minor, they have Borosk. They don't quite have Mygeeter and Merlinst, but they are expanding. And then once they start building up more, yeah, so you can...
Complete.
They just started building some infrastructure there.
Star Cruiser
So we're kind of racing against what they have. This is not going to be too much of a problem either, luckily. Okay, so let's get Invictus into the fleet. And let's get ready to move out.
Construction complete.
So we should be... Our goal is basically to be on even footing with the other factions once we get into that point.
ready to go.
Once we get to the point where we're going to be
Setting course.
fighting the Empire of the Hand, the Empire, New Republic, and Aridu. Aridu will probably be able to take less, because they only start with the one planet.
Tactical battle
I don't even remember if I turned on their AI, but I think I did.
Reinforcements
it's them.
available.
Alright,
Choose your
let's
reinforcements.
get these guys in.
Right away.
I'm not
Setting course. Setting course.
confident we can win this without losses. I think we might want to back off and get one more ship, one or two more ships that we had queued. If we have Confetti Launcher, I think we're okay.
Awaiting orders.
So yeah, let's
Preparing for jump to light speed.
just do that. Oh, I need to change that text. Once we have one or two of these guys, then we're good. And maybe we'll queue up a Marin Trickster and
Cruiser
go
reporting.
44th.
Production.
You get into our fleet here.
Navigating to coordinates.
You can head up.
Inputting coordinates.
Yeah, this rate we may as well wait for Aussie Last Stand.
Constructing
Cruiser
unit.
online. Navigating.
Get in there. And I guess we'll just queue up the Stormtroopers. Anywho.
IPV reporting.
Alright, so let's go in there. With what they have, I'm pretty confident we can
Heading out.
take that out.
Location confirmed.
But I think with two VSDs and a Venator, like the Bothan Assault Cruiser we have and the Providence, I'd say, are each worth a Venator or a VSD. But then they still have that third one, plus they have the Lancers against our fighters, so
Inbound.
But I think
Choose your
we're okay
reinforcements.
now.
Flank speed.
Let's get Star Wars Sucks in the middle there. Let's get Confetti
Coming
Launcher
about.
off to the one side, and Lux
All
Off-Row
out.
off to the other side. Let's get Aussie
I
Last
copy.
Stand in the back, along with First Sight,
Right away.
because they're going to be kind of our artillery, and Invictus can
Right
go
away.
right there.
Frigate reporting.
Looks like these guys are kind of pretty...
Let's move out.
Let's go off to that side then.
Cannon
If they're
down.
gonna divert those ones, then we can just
Let's
catch
go.
the Vindicators off. Oh, looks like Dominator's coming off this
Keep
way
going.
too.
Reporting. I'm on.
Weapons armed.
Excellent shot. I got one. Coming around. I've got them in my sights.
Locking on.
Enemies in range.
Yes, Commander.
All right, so
Open
let's
fire.
take out this Lancer. There we go.
Destroy the ion
They're
cannon.
coming in slick.
All fire on those ion cannons.
There's that second
Destroy
Lancer.
the ion cannon.
These Vindicators will both be down before either of the VSDs get in range. And I think we can easily take out either VSD.
copy. We've lost the shield generator. Roger that.
Watch him. He's coming
Reporting.
around.
Primary
Enemy
drive
position
position down.
locked.
Awaiting orders.
Eliminating
We've
target.
lost the launch bay.
Okay, we've got to
Awaiting orders.
help Invictus out here.
Advancing.
Awaiting instruction.
Malfunctioning! I
Flank
can't stay out
speed.
here!
I've got him.
I need help.
Getting a lock. Taking fire. Awaiting your command.
Yes, Commander.
Intercepting.
That was close.
I'm on them.
Assault frigate here.
Excellent shot. Stay in
Lux is coming through.
Ready. Cruiser reporting.
I've got him.
Cruiser here. Standing by.
Get behind them.
I'm hit!
I have them
Ready.
now.
Once we get some units that are a little bit tankier,
Laser
we'll be able to have an effective front line.
awaiting orders.
Stuff won't get that close.
I'm on them. All fighters attack.
Copy.
Locking on. I've got him. Enemies in range.
Form
All right.
up.
Target locked. Eliminating target.
Enemy spotted. I copy.
Coming around.
Awaiting orders.
There's still a Venator left. Gotta just make sure that it doesn't get in range of our Venator.
We have them
So
in
let's
our
actually focus down the engines.
sights. Copy. Ready to engage. The primary target is the engines. Targeting at maximum firepower. Destroy the engines. I copy. The lasers are our target. Target in sight.
Okay.
Reporting.
We are victorious.
There we go. So I don't think we lost anything there. Almost lost a Venator. But with the next one, with this extra little grouping of ships, we should be good as well. So let's get Night Flame,
Constructing unit.
and next we will save up for Vengeful Spirit too.
Transmission received.
So if you guys want to get into that, you know what, we won't even need them. So let's just get
Beginning
this over
construction.
here. And I'll have a bunch more of the units coded in, like I said, for next episode. So nothing to worry about yet.
Advancing.
These aren't all the units we have available to us, is what I mean.
Constructing unit.
So we have Squabier here. Our next... technically, they're in heavy vehicle factories, but I've never really felt like they deserved it.
Understood.
Those guys. But let's go in for Coruscant. This was just infantry, if I remember. Oh, right. 3 infantry companies and 2 Time Mauler, and then it was Enzoth. That was just infantry, I believe. Alright, so let's get these captured here. So, since I didn't talk about it at the start of the video, the posting schedule for this is going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Monday, Tuesday. So, in a regular week, I guess that's Monday, Tuesday,
On my way, sir.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but this week, since we're starting on the Thursday. So we are still doing, that's 5 episodes per week, but instead of doing
Yes,
it
Commander.
5 days in a row like we do with Empire's End, it'll be
Order acknowledged.
just the 1 day off in the middle. And I feel like that'll be less of a build-up for people, and then there's only 1 day off with the
On my way.
1 day off between the episodes. So that should work out pretty well. So I guess we'll let them deal with the civilians, and then they're probably going to come for us. I am kind of worried about our infantry
Fall out,
with
troops.
all those Time Maulers. So I'm just going to
Let's
move
out.
one thing from each company over here.
Reporting in. Scanning
Then we can
area.
still use these without being as afraid of losing
Right away.
the companies. If the Time Maulers will just run over the infantry and
Ready.
then it's all gone. And we only have so many infantry for the whole playthrough,
Copy.
so I've got to be really concerned about that. Right now I've only coded in a few of the Stormtroopers and the NR Troopers, but we've got some Battle Droids, we've got some Clone Troopers even, Stormtroopers, Raptor Troopers. We got pretty much every variety of trooper between everything. So
Reporting in. Moving out.
they shouldn't be much of a threat to the AT-ATE, but
Roger that. Heading out. Come on, men. This way.
Turret constructing.
I copy.
we can go destroy that.
Ready to roll.
Back here.
Reporting. Form up. Yes, sir. Form up. On the move. Awaiting your orders. Drop it. Roger that. I copy. All out. Awaiting orders. Scouting area.
Are you gonna like self-destruct or something? I think that one just did.
Done. Reporting. I copy. Right away. Form up. Yes, sir. Let's move out. Scouting area.
Okay, this ability is still super OP for killing infantry.
Moving out. Heading out. Fall out. Yes, sir. Enemy sighted. Yes, Commander. Yes, Commander. Awaiting orders. Yes, Commander. Nothing towards the Alliance. Avoiding fire. Squad, advance. Affirmative,
Okay,
sir.
so looks like we're making it through that okay.
Ready.
Rate's still good.
Let's move out.
Enemy has
There we
been
go.
defeated. Bombing run of
What did we lose?
system conquered.
The pop cap there I thought indicated we lost something, but oh well. So there's Coruscant. That's going to be a good one for us so we can build up an economy.
Construction complete.
We've got the squad beer getting built there. You guys
Receiving
can come
location.
in. And the other thing that we're actually not limited on is the Golans. So we can build as many Golans as we
Building
need
under
to.
construction.
You know what? We're probably going to get up farther up north. So let's... I can't remember if we checked Odic or Enzoth. I think it was Odic, and it was like the two MC40s. There wasn't that much in terms of spaciness there. So we should be able to go in straight off.
Departure set.
Have they taken...
Construction.
No, they actually haven't taken any of the planets towards
Tactical
Gustavo
battle imminent.
Bilbringi. So we probably would have been able to go up to Bilbringi. Maybe that's what we'll do next episode. We'll take Obersky and Bilbringi, and then try to make that little, like just all the
They're in
planets
this
that are connecting
direction.
around that part of the core here. So we'll have that whole loop.
IPV reporting.
Choose your
Alright, this one
reinforcements.
is a little bit easier.
Destination confirmed. Let's go. Moving out.
We can jump in a little
Reinforcements
further
canceled.
in.
Course plotted.
Moving into position. Moving to sector.
That's
Confirmed.
444th we have there, I think, for the first time. As well as Emerald Tracker.
We're on our way.
Ready.
Reporting in.
Carrot Commander here.
Awaiting orders. Target those lasers. The lasers are our target.
TIE Squadron here. Target critical.
Frigate reporting.
Target locked.
Target those lasers. Take out the missile launchers.
Sights.
Losing control.
Copy. Engines cannons armed.
Can't switch position.
Just gotta make sure I don't lose sight of the raider.
Back around for another.
Weapons armed. Order confirmed. Destroy the shield generator. Yes, Commander.
Okay. I don't think I'll lose anything in this one either. It probably won't be until we start fighting the other factions that we start taking any like really heavy losses. We'll probably lose a couple ships in the middle
The lasers are our target.
in situations like we almost lost Invictus last battle, but
Awaiting orders. Target those lasers.
or last space battle. I feel like the Invictus would be pretty strong in ground battles.
Initiating attack. Over there. Directing all fire at the missile launchers.
Sometimes you can come across some pretty strong hostile forces though, because it'll overflow the total combat power that in. So the random galactic bonds, we actually, Bob and I did a video about this when Bob made the function. So all the single planet starts in Thrawn's Revenge, all those galactic conquests use random spawns, like the ones that we've got going on here. And it's basically told like a certain amount of combat power that the fleet's supposed to have, and if it wants to get like up to that with a certain number of units. So sometimes it'll overflow when it's trying to meet up with that requirement. It'll go, the unit it uses to match that will be a really strong capital ship or something. So that can significantly buff up some of the spawns. But let's get in here. The New Republic's actually moved in a little bit to the core. It seems like the Empire is going more around this way, like towards the north, and the Empire of the Hand is going more around the north as well. With the New Republic started coming into Lycia. They're only 2 jumps off from us, really. So we might want to take Sauce Beacon as soon as we can.
Reporting. Moving out. Choose your reinforcements.
Heading out.
Heading out, sir.
Inputting coordinates.
At maximum unit capacity.
This might have been a skirmish map. A converted skirmish
Secured an
map.
abandoned turbo laser tower.
Lancet standing by. Let's go.
Moving to
Keep
secondary
going.
position.
Aerial artillery reporting. This way.
Proceeding with caution.
Awaiting orders.
Ready for orders. Over there.
We've lost
Engines
the abandoned
activated.
turbo laser tower. Support order acknowledged.
That's nice.
Yes, sir. Enemy
Let's
forces
move
ahead. We'll keep our eyes open.
Right there, come here.
At the ready.
Ready. Squad, move out. Yes, sir. Roger. Affirmative. Right away, sir. Reporting in. Squad, advance. Target confirmed. Move out. Advance.
Okay, it's nice that you're killing the Twi'leks, but it's really making my life harder.
Ready to
So can
receive
you please
orders.
stop that?
Roger that.
Actually, maybe I want the money from that. They're taking out that house. We'll let them take out that house before we go over to that side, potentially.
Comlink active.
And we'll finish off on this side for them. Yeah, I think this was the Ryloth skirmish map.
Roger that. Receiving orders.
Alright, let's start heading up
Ready to
there.
go. Inputting coordinates.
Form up. As you wish.
We'll cover you.
Awaiting orders.
Keep going.
There we go. Got
This
some money
way.
out of that.
Providing backup.
Over there.
Right behind you.
Scouting.
Form up.
Always ready, sir. On my way.
Alright, let's
Scanning
get
area. We'll
over.
assist
We
you
can
on
just
the move.
afford to go straight in now.
Spreading
Scouting
out.
area.
Come on, man, this
go.
way.
Oh, don't need to do that.
Right away. Enemy spotted.
Moving to secondary position.
Hostile. Right behind.
Okay. Alright, so
Planetary control achieved.
that is, I think, going to do it for today's episode. So in the next episode, I'll have coded in a lot more of our units. We'll be able to probably, I'd like to take Obra Sky, Bilbringi, Dornick, and Enzoth. So we'll have that whole loop there. And hopefully that'll be enough before we start getting encroached on by some of the other major factions. Let's see, let's just check the history graph here. They're getting up there. Yeah, they're really building up. Especially the Empire of the Hand. The Empire started with a couple more units, but they haven't grown quite as much. And I think they have some of the harder stuff to get through then. Because it all does depend on what their random spawns were. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you're looking forward to the playthrough. If you do have any ship requests, make sure to put them in the comments in the video that is linked to in the description. And please do make sure you follow the rules for submitting them, because otherwise it's a lot for me to dig through. But again, I'm really looking forward to this playthrough. I hope you guys are as well. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow with the next episode. Bye.